All right, guys, welcome back to the Everything College Football Podcast. Today we have a little bit of daily fantasy, 8-game slate for Thursday night. By no means is this a guaranteed winner. This is just some information that could provide to help you win, a potential daily fantasy contest. Getting things started for $8,000. C.J. Stroud should have a big season. He has a similar mold to that of Justin Fields. Playing style-wise, nice arm, crisp passer, very good athlete. Last year, his only carry, he took 52 yards to the house, so he's an explosive player with his legs as well. Got all the weapons to succeed. We'll get to that later. But I think he's going to have a big year all around. Great protection up front as well. The top tackle duo in all of college football. I think he's going to have a big year and a big game here against Minnesota. The Golden Gophers, their pass defense on paper was pretty solid. They padded their numbers, though, against teams who didn't throw the ball all that well. When they played teams that did throw the ball well, Purdue and Maryland, they got flamed 360-plus yards. I think this is a good matchup here for Stroud. They're going to want to throw the ball a lot to get him comfortable. They're going to want to hit him early in his career, starting off the season. They're going to want to hit him as comfortable as possible. So I think C.J. Stroud, he's going to have a big-time game here. He's going to get a lot of volume, I think, against Minnesota. Looking at running back, the first one, 6,900, Cameron Peoples. He had 1,100 yards a season ago. It is a deep rotation of backs for Appalachian State, but Harrington, he is out for this game. Nate Noel, he could see a good sizable amount of carries himself, so that might be a guy to roll with. I think both of them will see some good touches, and they might just go with the hot hand. I've seen that before at Appalachian State. Great matchup against ECU, 98th against rush defense last season. They were burned versus teams who specialize in running the ball. Appalachian State is one of those. The Pirates allowed 5 games of 200-plus yards a season ago, 5.1 yards per carry allowed. Get Cameron Peoples in your lineup. I think he's going to have a big game. And when he played a defense that was, ECU's not as bad defensively as North Texas was, but in the bowl game he had 5 scores, 300-plus yards. You won't see that type of game, I don't think, here, but he certainly took advantage of the poor rush defenses a season ago, and they're going to look to pound the ball early and often here in this one. Moving to your second running back, Tamark Pierce, 4,400. Eastern Washington, they take on UNLV, a Rebels team that ranked among the worst in college football last season in stopping the run. They allowed 255 yards a game, 6.5 per carry. They're going to split. He will split time with Dennis Merritt, though. I think he's still going to be the running back they lean on the most. Eastern Washington, they averaged over 37 yards a game in 2020. 40 a game in 2019. These guys have always had a great offense back to their Cooper Cup days. It's been like this for over a decade now at Eastern Washington. It's not like there's a big talent gap between Eastern Washington and UNLV either. They can certainly compete in this game. Flat out win it, that is, too. It's only a 7-point spread, high total. They didn't run the ball as strong as they did in 2019. They only played 7 games, too. I think with some experience under their belt. These two backs they get back. Pierce, I think he's going to have a big game against just a poor defense. Looking at wide receiver for 4,400, I like to get Pharah Thomas into my lineup. Very underpriced, I feel like. He was the second best receiver last year for NC State. More expensive than him is Devin Carter, who has less production. He's more explosive in terms of yards per catch and all-around skill set. But Pharah Thomas, he's been very respectable for NC State. 100-plus career receptions, 30-plus in each of his first 3 seasons. Last year, with 42 grabs, 500-plus yards. That was second on the team. He did lead them in touchdowns as well with 6. USF, they gave up a lot of passing touchdowns last year, over 20. Their defense should also be on the field a lot. I don't see this offense being able to move the ball very much at all. To begin with, their offense is not great. NC State, they're going to look to make a statement in this game defensively. Pharah Thomas at 4,400. I think this is a good steal. I'm not sure how many opportunities he will have, but again, I think this USF defense will be on the field a lot. So he should come down with at least 5 catches, 80 yards. I think that's a good mark, maybe a touchdown. I think he has a lot of upside, though, in this ball game. Moving to your number 2 receiving slot, 8,600, Jalen Robinson. Boise State, they got brutalized at times in the secondary. When they played Nevada and San Jose State, 400-plus yards were allowed in that game. UCF, that's a similar style passing attack. Dylan Gabriel, and these guys love to air it out. Very high-volume attack for UCF. Even with Gus Malzahn coming over, they're still going to look to implement a strong passing attack. Jalen Robinson, he's going to overtake the number 1 receiving role because Marlon Williams, he's gone. 55 grabs, 970 yards, 6 touchdowns a season ago. Averaged 98 yards a game. Very explosive. I'm very confident. Even if Boise State corner Markel Reed shadows him, they're going to get him involved. They're going to find ways to spread the field. Robinson's going to be a part of that. I think he's going to have a big game here against Boise State. Looking at your flex position, C.J. Stroud, you get his top weapon in Garrett Wilson at 7,500, and Chris Olave at your flex for 6,700. So the production is on screen. You can see that it was a very similar season ago. They just go back and forth really on receptions downfield. I think you're going to see that here on breaking routes to the outside, comebacks, curls. They're going to get all kinds of looks. they're both going to be open as well. I think you could see him have a big play or two downfield also. They're going to be looking to get Stroud comfortable, so you're going to see, as I mentioned, some of those breaking routes, stuff that gets him open, because these guys have so much ability. They're so talented, they can do whatever. They will be open on a lot of those plays. I think you can see both of them 7+ receptions for 100+ yards. It's kind of what they averaged last year, and I think both of them can have it in this game. One of the two is going to break out. It's hard to not have one of them in the lineup, so why not have both of them? Next at 3,400, Mark Anthony Richards. He's going to have Isaiah Bowser, a Northwestern transfer, and Johnny Richardson right up his rear, for that starting running back job. But Richardson right now is the starter. Those guys might take some carries away. They might ride with a hot hand. So if you can get one of those guys cheaper, not a terrible option. Mark Anthony Richards, Farrell's Gus Malzahn over from Auburn. And Malzahn's going to implement some of the same principles to his running game here. Good short area quickness, nice burst. I think this is a great opportunity for Richards, and considering he's already worked with Malzahn, follows him over from Auburn, he's going to have the first crack at being the starting running back. In Boise, they're a little bit undersized on the interior defensive line. UCF, a veteran offensive line in their own right. I think Richards, they're going to look to get him going a lot. If this passing attack completely dominates, though, then it might take away from the running backs' carries. But I think another high upside player, to get guys like Wilson and Olave in there, and Robinson being a high price, you got to take some risks. I think Mark Richards, that is, very good option here for 3,400. So that is the lineup for Thursday night. Take this with a grain of salt, but also look to use some of these guys. I think some of them can have a really big game. I don't think this is a bad lineup whatsoever. A lot of high upside, and I don't think ownership will be that high on guys like Pierce and Richards. So take it what you want. Take the information, copy the lineup, do whatever. Hopefully you guys, good luck to all you. Have a good night. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, leave a comment. Peace.